Hello, this is actually our fourth day in Sofia. I've spent the last 3 days pretty much in bed. I think you can probably still hear my throat's a bit sore, isn't it? And yeah, so I've spent the last 3 days being a bit ill. I caught something in Turkey, to be honest, like laryngitis or something. So, but let's just pretend this is our second day, and we'll show you around. Where are we going?
It's a gallery.
Cool. We'll show you. We'll do that. So we've just stopped on a park bench to have a little chat about the National Gallery. Emma, did you enjoy the National Gallery?
I did. There were 2 floors. I think the bottom one has a changing exhibition every now and again, and this one was about ladies' strength, and there were lots of textiles, which I really enjoyed. And then upstairs is a more traditional kind of portrait gallery. So there was loads of, well, there were Russian names. I assume they were Russian people, I'm not sure. Just portraits of them being fancy. It was good.
Yeah, really nice gallery, really nice place to walk around. You're finding Sofia very charming, aren't you?
It's just so pretty. There's so many green spaces and pretty buildings, fountains. Everyone seems very calm. It's lovely.
Most guidebooks give St Alexander Nevsky Cathedral top billing in terms of Sofia places to go and highlights of a visit. Emma, did you enjoy it?
It is a really beautiful building on the inside and the outside. There are a few works on the outside, like building works around it, so the approach isn't ideal, but the actual building itself is beautiful, and it's only about 5 minutes walk from where we were staying, so that was really lucky.
It's free to get in as well, which is really great, although you do have to pay 10 lev to take photos.
So this is the Palace of Culture we're walking up to. Kind of a very socialist-like walk up. You know, kind of weirdly reminds me of North Korea, you know, with its big wide boulevards leading up to the thing that you just see for ages walking up to it. Remind you a bit of North Korea?
No.
We initially thought the National Palace of Culture was shut, but it turns out you can only go inside if you've got tickets to an event, and obviously there are only so many events on a year. So if you want to go inside, you need tickets for an event.
We liked Sofia so much, and Rich has been ill for a few days, we've decided to stay a bit longer. So we're leaving this place and we're moving to a different one. And I just wanted to show you the view from this one.
The only reason we're leaving this one is because it's booked up.
And this morning we're going to spend an hour at the gallery just across the road here before we check out.
It's the second gallery we'll have been to.
I know, we're so fancy.
So this is the second National Gallery, and because it's Thursday, we got in for 2 Bulgarian lev, which is only £1 each. I'd wear that jumper. This looks like the kind of thing you get as a little demo in your Amiga for early 3D graphics. It just needs a reflective teapot. This is the more modern area. This is on the 3rd floor. Me and Emma often, when we walk around art galleries, we often say to each other, "Oh, would you have this in your house?" Emma, would you have this in the house?
No, I would not.
Creepiest thing I've ever seen. The National Gallery is absolutely huge. I recommend you giving yourself at least a couple of hours to explore the place. Me and Emma had about an hour here and we felt it really wasn't enough. We felt kind of rushed through. So we're just waiting by these massive lions to go on a walking tour of all the ex-communist parts of Sofia.
The communist tour was about €15 and we booked it through Airbnb. I really enjoyed the communist tour because it showed you all these sites, and the guide was very thorough and had loads of stories about the communist era and things under the communist era. Emma had a slightly different opinion.
Yeah, he was thorough, but as I have basically no interest in the subject, he was, for me, too thorough. So we walked for miles listening to something that I just wasn't interested in. So it wasn't for me, so just bear that in mind if you go. But we met two ladies on the tour who said that they did the free daily walking tour, which is about an hour and a half, and that was a lot more fun. So up to you.
Well, we got to see a piece of the Berlin Wall. Look, here's a piece of the Berlin Wall. Postcard time!
So we're off to a place now called the Red Flat, which is like a recreation of a typical socialist flat in Bulgaria. So let's go check out the Red Flat.
The Red Flat's great. It's an ex-communist apartment that's been dressed with loads of communist memorabilia, and there's an audio guide with stories about a family that could have lived there, so you get a real sense of people's lives and what it was like to live at the time. It's also really interactive. They encourage you to dress up and put stuff on and touch all the exhibits and put some music on, which makes it a really fun experience.
It's really interesting. So some of the stuff that I'm hearing now through the audio guide, we heard on our communist walk yesterday, but this is a much more enjoyable way of learning about it.
Welcome to a Richard solo adventure. So Emma is having a nap whilst I've gone to explore the Museum of Socialist Art. Hopefully you can see some things in the background here. It's quite overgrown, and a lot of the nameplates are kind of worn away. It's 6 lev to get in, which you'd have thought a socialist museum would be free to get in, but hey, 6 lev. There's some really cool sculptures, and there's an indoor bit as well with some really cool posters, which I'll show you in a little bit. Here he is. Here he is. Inside has both traditional art and also posters from socialist states around the world. Here's one from China. Although that's a North Korean flag. The actual museum is incredibly small, so this hall, I'll just take you around most of it, and you've pretty much seen every bit of it now. And it comprises of this hall and a sculpture park out back, but it's only £3 to get in, so the museum could do with a little bit more thought and context. For instance, this is a piece called After the Police Raid, which shows a kind of ruined bedroom after the police have come, like I assume the secret police have come and broke in. But then it's next to some quite propagandized pictures. So was this piece about a police raid that was anti-socialist? I don't know, maybe a bit more information on the behalf of the people who run the museum could be useful. So while the exhibit is very small, the guy inside, who I thought was just security, is actually really helpful. He's telling me, about history. This statue here, this is the first communist leader of Bulgaria. His name is Georgy Dimitrov, and he actually is quite famous around the Eastern Bloc. He was accused by the Nazi Party of starting the Reichstag fire, and he was a lawyer who successfully argued in court that he didn't do that thing, and was acquitted, and then was put on a plane to Moscow by Stalin, and then installed as the first communist leader of Bulgaria. That's your little story about Georgy Dimitrov. As places like Bulgaria move out of communism, Bulgaria now join the EU, I think it's incredibly important to keep this part of cultural history alive and contextualise it rather than just destroy it. And I think places like this can be incredibly useful to learn about the history and context of a place. I do think they could do a little bit more here. They could add a little bit more context, they could add a little bit more reading material or an audio guide or something. But it's really important, I think, that we learn from the mistakes of the communist era, but also take things from it.
So I guess we showed you some of the things we've done in Sofia, but I guess what we haven't really got across is all the little pottering that we did, and all the little wandering around, and how green the place is, and how much we enjoyed it. Emma, you particularly enjoyed Sofia, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I loved all the green spaces. I don't know how it would look in the winter, how much I would like it then, but in the summer it's really lovely. Such beautiful buildings, just lots of little spaces with people just chilling out in them and having a nice calm time. It just had a really nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a lovely place to go. There was some really nice food that we had, and just a general really nice place to spend the summer. We'd highly recommend Sofia. If anyone wanted to go there on a holiday, or anyone wanted to take a little weekend city break, I think it's the perfect place for something like that, don't you?
I agree.
Right, that's the end of our time in Sofia. After we went to Sofia, we hopped on a bus to,
Veliko Tarnovo.
which is in the Bulgarian countryside, so we'll do a video on that next week. And please remember to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.